Welcome back everyone. Today I will show you how to defeat Midra, the Lord of the Frenzied Flame, easily. So we'll go through his weaknesses and as well the clothes you need to wear in order to mitigate the madness buildup on you, which is going to help greatly because when you get madness procced on you, your character does not move and is kind of locked in an animation, and then you can still get hit after. So first you need a build to be able to take him down, right? So he's immune to sleep and madness, but he's weaker to blood loss and frostbite. So you want to make a build based on one of these two stats. Obviously he will still get like poisoned and scarlet rot build up on him, but as you can see by the screenshot, it takes way less damage to proc blood loss or frostbite on him. So if you want to defeat him the quickest and easiest way possible, then you need to pick one of those two damage types. Personally, I was using blood loss, of course, with the dry leaf art. So I made a dexterity and arcane build. If you want to go for frostbite, you need to go intellect and then whatever weapon you're going to use frost on. Your second primary damage type. When it comes to the DLC, there's something more important than your level, other than your build, of course, because if your build isn't correct, then you're gonna have a pretty bad time, but you need to have at least 10 or above Shadow Realm blessings, because that will help you, mitigate some damage and do more damage to bosses. So if you feel like you're not doing enough damage, try to at least pick up 10 to 10 plus Shadow Realm blessings, and that's going to help a whole lot. And again, as I mentioned, the level, yes, it gives you more resources the higher level you are, but the DLC enemies all scale with you, so you can't be over leveled for any fight. Now, as I mentioned, it's very important to wear this exact armor set in order for you to mitigate the madness buildup on you. So as you can see in the resistance column, there is a value on the third one down, which is focus. The higher the focus you have, the longer it takes for madness to build up on you. And if you wear this exact set that I'm going to show you, you will never get madness built up on you unless you directly get hit by one of his sword attacks when it's buffed with the madness flames. So you want the soiled loincloth, the fire prelate gauntlets, the great hood, and the Corin's robe. These are the highest focus that I have found. Now if you don't have these, just look for the equipment that you have that has the highest focus. As long as you prioritize focus when it comes to gear, it's going to help you a bunch. Now when it comes to this fight, this guy has some very, very slow, delayed wind-up attacks, but once you get the timing down, it's very easy to avoid. However, the first few fights can be pretty rough because all the attacks are new and you're just getting used to it, right? It's normal to get hit by a lot of stuff. So it can take a few fights. However, I'm going to go through all the attacks to tell you how to dodge them and properly counter them and when you can punish him in order to help you defeat him quicker. So in the first phase, he has a lot of chain attacks. One is a 3-hit, and again, it's very slow and delayed. You just have to look at the wind up and then roll, right? And you can punish him after every chain of attack that he does. There is one particular chain of attack that he does where he finishes with a thrust. So if you see him do a thrust, there is a follow-up to that attack, and there's an explosion from his weapon, which is like the weapon Ash of War. So you need to get out of the range of that because it hurts a frick ton. Also, when you get into the boss room, he won't be in his final form, he'll just be on the ground and yelling at you. However, be careful because he can still attack you in that form, but you need to defeat him before he transforms and you get to the actual boss fight. He's really easy to defeat, but I was using the dry leaf arts, so not only does it stagger enemies, it's really quick. So you want to really kill him quick to not take damage in this first part of the fight, because it kind of sucks if you waste some healing items and you're not you didn't even start really fighting him, So he can actually jump on you and attack you. The wind up is kind of slowish and you can hit him out of it, but just be careful because it will build madness and it will do a lot of damage. So once you defeat that form and you transform and you see a cutscene, the second you walk towards him, he will send out some madness flames twice in a row. So when he does that, when the flames like jet out from the front, you want to actually roll forward in order to avoid it, because a lot of times I was trying to dodge right or left, but it was still hitting me. But in this first part of the fight, you can actually punish him for doing that right off the start. Just roll forward twice on him and then you can punish him and get a few hits in. The other opportunities to punish him is just really after his chain of attack, when he does the thrust and the explosion, so the Ash of War on his weapon, or when he does the 3-hit chain of attack as well. You can punish him after. But be careful, if you get greedy, he will hit you and it will hurt. When you're really close to him, sometimes he will like do a double stab, so you can try to bait that out and then just take a step back and then punish him, because it's a very like easy to dodge attack. He doesn't have a lot of range and it kind of has, you know, some pretty good recovery, so you have plenty of time to punish him there. After that, he has his spin attack, which is so freaking annoying. When you first fight him, it's really hard to understand how to avoid it, but the easiest way to avoid it, like the first part of it, he does 2 spin attacks, but then he will go in the air and do 3 more. Now you can do 2 things here. You can either dodge them correctly, you can use a great shield to block them, you can parry it, or you can just walk backwards and just dodge roll the last hit, so the 3rd hit of the spin, and then you can punish him, which is probably the easiest way to do it. Other than that, he gets into the second phase pretty easily, like it's more than 50% health, which kind of caught me off guard the first few times. So he will go up in the air exactly like Malenia, and he will explode in a massive madness AoE. Now the way to avoid this is exactly like Malenia, right? The second you see him go up into the air, remove the lock-on from him and then just run in the opposite direction and you will be fine. In this phase, he has a lot of annoying freaking attacks. He has a madness beam that he always seems to do when you're healing, right? It's so freaking annoying. But again, either run left or right and it's pretty easy to avoid. He will also send out the same Frenzied Flame as in the first phase, so again, roll forward to avoid them. You also have time to punish him, except sometimes he does follow up with a chain of attack right after it, so be careful. If he does it twice, he won't, but if he does the Frenzied Flame once, then he probably will follow up with a chain of attack. He also has another explosion, which he won't go up into the air for that, and it's extremely quick, so once you see like the big ball of madness coming out of him, you need to run, because that one freaking hurts. It's the same type of explosion that he does when he gets into phase 2. Other than that, he will put Madness Flame on his sword and he will do some attacks that will send out a trail of madness of fire behind it. Sometimes he will do a 1-hit attack, sometimes he will do a 4 or 5-hit one. Now it's pretty easy to avoid, but sometimes the last hit is kind of annoying because the tempo isn't the same as the other hits. But it kind of reminds me of Renala's magic arcs that she sent into her second phase. It's kind of exactly like that, like the first few ones are really quick and then the last one has more of a wind-up. But again, you really get the timing down the more you fight him, so you understand how to fight him way better and you can get him in phase 2 really quickly if you do that. Again, you need to use Blood Loss or Frost. That was my strategy going in. I almost switched to Frost, but I was like, nah, I can do this with Bleed. So that's what I did. My strategy was to do jump attacks and use the Ash of War, because I use the talismans to do more damage with the jump attacks, because it is quick with the Dry Leaf Arts. So plan your build accordingly, but as long as you use those two damage types, once you do proc that damage, you will do a lot of damage. But other than that, like, I wasn't doing a ton of damage just hitting him, right? It was really the damage proc that was taking a huge chunk out of him. So that is how you take down Midra, the Lord of the Frenzied Flame, in the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I hope these tips and this guide really helped you defeat him if you're having trouble. He's pretty hard, but it's like a fair, hard type of fight, you know? It's actually really fun. And I had fun trying to figure him out. If you have any more tips, please put them down in the comments below for everyone reading. And as always, have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon.